So Ofer, one of the things that we really haven't touched on is what makes a good consumer experience? How do you define a good experience?
Okay, so Taurus, do you hear me?
They will soon. Keep talking and...
Now it's okay?
Hello.
Okay.
There we are. Now we're okay.
So first of all, the mic is on. It's the beginning of a good user experience.
There you go.
Yeah. And basically, I think a good user experience should try to mimic what's interest to people. So don't try to invent something new. Just look around you and see what, as Francois said at the beginning, what are the desires, what are the needs, how people really work, and what they try to consume. Okay, so just a few examples that already works. People like to talk to each other. Nokia connecting people, right? It's a good success. People like to have their own personal solitude or personal space. Can you guess what it is? iPhone. 5 people sitting together in a restaurant, everybody is in his own world. Okay? Nice success. People would like to show off, to show what they're doing. You know, here is my kid, look how cute he is, and you know, this is my latest book, this is my latest song. So YouTube, Tumblr, all of these. People like to collect things, from stamps to, I don't know, old records, Pinterest. So if you look at all the major successes, there are basic human needs behind them. Okay. So a good user interface should try to provide, maybe not all of them, but should try to answer the needs and the desires of the users.
Yeah, something you just mentioned. You mentioned, I asked about user experience, and you mentioned user interface. Are user experience and user interface, are they different or are they the same?
So for me, first of all, it has to start with the psychology need. Okay, what's need this app or service is satisfying? It does not say that this is the only thing that you have to take care of, but first of all, you have to answer a real need. And if you look, at how humans behave, you can try to spot these needs. Then, of course, you can start thinking about the user interface itself. But first of all, there is this user experience, which is for me as a more psychological thing. User interface is how you translate this psychological need into interactions. Okay, so here is where you have to make it simple and fun and interesting and engaging, and like a web experience that you start here and you end there. All these things enter there after you identify the basic needs that you want to satisfy.
Okay, interesting. So in talking about the app or the second screen, is it about discovery? Is it about multitasking? What is second screen really about?
So for us, because I started with the needs, I think part of the human needs is to be surprised. Okay, So discovery is a process. If you think of discovery, okay, you can really see 3 different ways to discover stuff. One is that you more or less know what you're looking for, so you do a search and you find hopefully what you look for. The other one is that you say, well, I don't know anything, but I want the world to know my preference. This is more or less where you expect your girlfriend to surprise you with something that you want, right? Okay. Because she knows you, or the world or your family knows you, and they are sort of expected to surprise you, not with the surprise party, which you don't want, but with something that you like. So that's the recommendation part. Okay? The system learns you. And the other way of finding things is through serendipity. So you just go to Athens and you don't take a map, you just wander around, listen to the people and ask them, just discover almost by coincidence. And that's another part of discovery, and that's something that we think we want to do and we think we do. Okay, so that's the discovery part. Then, of course, it has to be fun and social, and while you are interacting with the TV. And the last thing for us, at least, is education. So satisfying curiosity. You saw Midnight in Paris, as I did. There was something called La Belle Époque. I didn't know what was this, you know. All these great artists, Peugeot antique cars, fashion, Paris in the 20s. All of these are topics that will fade away, you know, like 30 minutes after you saw the movie, but for 30 minutes they're lingering in your mind, and if you could satisfy this curiosity right from the second screen, that would be fantastic. And the way we do it, we'll show it later in the demo, but we think this is a major thing, you know, just to help you discover more around the content that you already consume after you consume it.
Interesting. Well, speaking of fun and social, I want to invite our next person up to the stage. Antonio Goya from Mediaset, would you come join us?
I mean, move.
Oh, there you go. See, it's almost like we planned it this way. Okay. So, Antonio, tell us just a bit. Now, you and I have known each other for a while, but tell us a little bit about you and about Mediaset and what you do with Mediaset.
Well, basically, I'm the copywriter of Mr. Berlusconi funny jokes. Just kidding. No, well, I work at Mediaset and I'm involved in product innovation on a daily basis. So I deal with over-the-top service, multi-screen deployments in Mediaset, especially for our pay TV business. Just to give you an idea, a brief overview of Mediaset. Mediaset is involved, operates in a wide range of broadcast and related media. So basically we offer free-to-air channels to our customers. This is the traditional core business of Mediaset since late 70s. We launched a pay TV offer, pay TV business unit in early in 2003 as the transition to digital terrestrial network started in Italy. Then we are also involved in content production, drama, series, fiction, broadcast infrastructure management, and we also expanded our business beyond Italy a few years ago as we became the main shareholders of Telecinco and Quadro, the major broadcaster, commercial broadcaster in Spain.
Okay.
So it's a very complex scenario, and one of the big issues we've been experiencing over the last few years is how to bring together our pay TV and free-to-air customers. So we have tons and a bunch of overlapping customers, people that enjoy our free-to-air channels as well as a subscription to our pay TV channels, pay TV propositions. And let me say, I do believe that social and second screen environment is something that can offer us the way to create a glue, a fit between our different prominent business units. So it's something that can allow us to offer an holistic approach to our offer and to create sorts of competitive advantage, sustainable innovation, and a better positioning in the market. Well, you have to think about that, and we are still making our mind up in order to how to deploy an effective and robust multi-screen proposition. But that's the main idea behind that.
Interesting. And you had a video that you were going to show, or is that for later in the day? You know, we don't have much more later in the day.
Yeah, right. Well, point is that we launched an over-the-top service 2 years ago, which is dubbed Premium Play, which basically it's a complementary service to our pay TV subscribers. And Efrat, do you mind mentioning the? So Premium Play is our cutting-edge proposition. Basically, we offer a full VOD and SVOD catalog, as well as catch up from our free-to-air channels. And that's just an example, a short video which I got from our iPad version of the application, but we offer a full-fledged application on different devices, so ranging from set-top box, connected TV, gaming console, tablet, and smartphone as well. This is what I call replacer. So it's just a way to, repurpose, a repurposing way to, a way to repurpose what you already deliver on your linear channels. We have different application, the second video, for our free-to-air customers. Efrat, can you switch to? Thank you. So that's just a tool to increase the loyalty from our pay TV customers. It's a powerful anti-churn tool as well. Then we have an application on iPad as well called Video Mediaset, which is just the way to strengthen, to enforce our legacy content, so our free-to-air channels, mini generalist and generalist channels. So that's two example of what I call the replacer. Then there is something different. You can use two different ways the second screen, the companion devices. You can use it as a way to offer a seamless anywhere, anytime way to catch up your contents, your linear contents, your VOD proposition, or you can just try to enhance the consumer viewing habits and the viewing, the way people, live on a daily basis the television proposition. So that's what we are aiming at doing in the next future. So it's integrated ecosystem where we can try to put together, to build together a catch-up world environment with some enhancement, social way to live the TV proposition. Well, let me say, I don't want to be the party pooper here, but all the glitter is not gold. All the glitters is not gold.
All that glitters is not gold, okay.
So my point is that second screen is a powerful way to enhance your TV linear TV proposition, but there are a few black holes yet to be comprehended in full. For instance, you have to take into account disruption, and you have to take into account how to monetize the second screen. Second screen is so good, it's so powerful, but our managers are still reluctant to embrace it in full.
Interesting.
Because they see second screen as a threat instead of an opportunity.
A threat, so they think that it's pulling eyeballs away from the television?
Yeah, that's correct.
Interesting.
And a disruptive way to, second screen has to be disruptive, a disruptive innovation, but not disruptive in terms of interrupting the viewing experience.
Yeah. Well, let me ask, because I had mentioned earlier that in my family, we end up, however many people are around watching the television, there's that many other devices beyond the TV that they're interacting with. So is it similar in Italy as
Well, actually, the way what second screen really represents for Italian customers is a way to spend time doing something different than watching TV commercials. That's not good. That's not irrelevant for for instance, for us, as we
So
mainly based.
it's almost like ad skipping, their own version
Right.
of ad skipping.
So it's a simple but scary dynamic. Commercial start and people grab their tablet or a smartphone and start doing something different. Maybe they start finding information about the contents they are watching on Wikipedia or Facebook or Twitter, but it's a different environment, so it's something you cannot control. So I mean, there is also a chicken and egg phenomenon in second screen, as in commercial investors, advertising investors, at least in Italy, are waiting for more customers, for more people using second screen, while customers and users are waiting for new contents, new incentives, new way to motivation to use second screen. So we have to find new marketing values, a new compelling proposition to offer to our customers and to give them real motivation to grab their second screen, their tablets, and use our proposition, our application instead of
So whether they're on
letting Google or Facebook.
Yeah, so whether on the TV or on the tablet, they're still interfacing with you.
Seamless in a seamless way.
Interesting. Well, I want to follow up on the whole ad skipping side because I think that's really important in second screen. But I also want to add someone else to our party up here. We've asked Patrice Silbowski with Orange. Yeah. It's musical chairs at this point, so everyone gets to move over except me. So
keep the mic.
that's about. Oh man, he has a microphone now. Yeah. There is one over there, so we can have dueling, either a duet or dueling microphones, one of the two. So you've heard what? Well, first of all, Patrice, tell us a little bit about what you do at Orange.
Well, I'm in charge of digital innovation. This means I have a team whose basic role is to transform weak signals, to transform new trends into products that we put in the hands of the customer to see if it takes or not. If it works perfect, we'll move to something industrial. If it's not, we'll simply throw it in the garbage.
So how long have you all been looking at second screen, or maybe how long has second screen not fallen into the garbage at this point?
Honestly, from 2010.
Okay.
But I'm telling my finance director that we started in 2012 because the real question is you don't want to be on the third year, in any
the
business.
third year of an innovation project.
Yeah. But honestly, the first idea came in 2010 when we first noticed that people were changing the behaviors in front of TV, and so we thought it was a good topic to prototype something on. And then the prototype was so good that we transformed that into a product called TV Check that we released in 2011 in France, 2012 in the UK, and now it's a live product on the market, which has basically 3 roles. Among the 8 or 9 different use cases of the second screen, it covers social interaction. This means what you are saying on Facebook, Twitter, or what the other ones are saying on Twitter and Facebook while you're watching a TV show. Second thing is gaming. All the badges, Foursquare-like experience that you may have in front of TV, getting the reward, funny things, watching TV. And
is the gamification side, is that very popular in France?
Yeah, it is popular, and it's bringing a little bit of fun, even if the show is not funny.
Yeah, I'm not sure that everyone else understands the gamification side of that, so.
I think it's basically it can range from your loyalty to a show, then you will have some badges because you're loyal, to the being the top dog or the master of the show, like the mayor on Foursquare. If you're the one who is checking in on the show with the biggest frequency, you would be the top dog of the show. Your picture will be put in the listings in the TV guide.
Interesting, interesting. So you get some type of award or gift, a virtual
Yeah,
gift for being.
it's important because all the check-in mechanism is relying on some reward. If not, you're getting some check-in fatigue, and people are stopping doing that. So it's important to reward a bit the people. And last but not least, and I think it's covering something we will be speaking about, we are trying to handle the content discovery by integrating a recommendation engine. And you may guess that this recommendation engine is called something like Compass, that some of you in the audience may know. Just in order to be able to provide live TV show recommendation based on your profile and past checkings, likes, etc.
Okay, interesting. Now, one of the things that you and I talked about earlier, kind of a little aside from the whole second screen thing, you said that there was someone with a birthday in the audience today?
Well, in fact, you were speaking about all that glitters is gold, which is there is a lady who's showing all that glitters is gold, and I think it's Atika's birthday today.
It is Atika's birthday.
So let me
Very
say
good.
to
Well,
all
thank you.
together, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, Atika, happy birthday to you. Well, you were asking something.
That's right, and
Okay,
now,
now
I
we
can tell
have
we'll
we
come
have a
up-
second part. We have a salsa thing, and you're going to and Offer is going to undress, and there will be monkeys, lions, etc.
You know, I'm a firm believer that the second screen should be family friendly, so let's just keep it there. Let me open it up for kind of all of us to talk about the second screen. What are your thoughts on what Antonio was saying about the whole ad skipping side of that? Did that factor into your considerations? Or is it just usage habits that we're driving?
No, we're looking at everything, and since, of course, advertising is the primary source for free-to-air TV revenues, we are really, really cautious that the second screen is still a second screen and not a first one. So it means that we haven't been creating social TV and the idea of the second screen. The customer have decided by themselves to bring a second screen in front of the TV. We're helping that, and we're helping the coexistence of two screens in front of TV, but being respective of the king screen being the big TV set, and we are trying to develop some attention mechanism that are not going to distract completely the people from the first screen going on the second. It's very important for the whole industry that we're keeping that, and in addition to that, that we're leaving the people in a kind of still a lean back position in front of the TV.
So who owns the second screen? Because right now you have content owners and media said you're in a unique position because you create the content and deliver the content. I know, Aranj, you create some content as well, but there are a number of companies within the ecosystem that are trying. I had a slide up earlier with Shazam, with others in there. So who owns that? Who owns the second screen?
Well, I have to say that if you're looking at the current situation in markets like the US, the UK, or France, you will see that the big channels have decided to do something now, and that one could say that the big channels will be the one capturing the second screen, etc. But if you're thinking of what's happening in front of TV, you would probably say that the most known and well implemented gesture in front of TV is to move from a channel to the other. Everybody knows how to do that, and within 1/10 of a second, you're moving from TF1 to France 2, or from BBC to Channel 4. So, as a matter of fact, if you are having as a second screen the application which is provided by the TV channel, you would face the problem of having to change from one application to the other, and
Every
it
time
takes
you change
ages.
channel.
It takes ages. So, me saying so. I would argue that the people who can be aggregators in front of the TV have a better chance to be the second screen and to welcome the TV channels for sure, because they're the most important part in this industry, and the content producers in the platform.
Interesting. So, Ofer or Antonio, what is your perspective?
The way we look at it is that who owns the second screen? The answer is quite simple: the consumer. Okay, because the consumer has, I don't know, each one of us has like between 20 to 100 apps, and we ended up just like in TV that we are used to see 5 channels out of 800s. If you look at your behaviors, more or less everyone is using 5 to 10 apps. Okay, so here comes Flipboard, for example, and then you throw all your RSS readers and just use Flipboard. So at the end of the day, it has to be a very, very compelling experience, a unique experience with all the fun and the social and the gamification and the curiosity and discuss everything, but it has to be excellent executed in order to be the one among 20 selected for the users.
Yeah, well, and let me clarify the question a bit, because clearly the consumer is going to be the ultimate judge as to which experience they end up selecting. So maybe it's not who owns it, because the consumer is the final judge, but who is first in line? Who is most likely to be the one selected? And Patrice had mentioned the content, the channels, because is that because of they're creating the content, and so they have content for the second screen? So who's in position to dominate that?
Well, you hear me?
Yes, now.
Well, I think it's a matter of brand as well. I mean, at least in Italy, people is accustomed to our well-established brand, so we can leverage the Mediaset brand to push our proposition on second screen, and then you can push your second screen proposition to increase the stickiness to your program and to increase your brand awareness. So it's a positive cycle. I mean, then I fully agree with you. It's the consumers who own the second screen. And that's a pity, as it seems that over the past few years we have been running after the consumers, and the situation is completely different. If you think, for instance, 10 years ago, at least in Italy, we had just 6 generalist channels, and the broadcasters control the viewer experience in full. Then we have now we have the other way around. So basically we have to take into account the customer habits, the customer behaviors difference. That's not so easy.
Well, speaking of not so easy, because you bring up a good point, a lot of the use cases around mobile devices, consumers are still getting used to the tablets, and they're still adjusting to what they can do with a tablet. So how do you in this environment, how do you come out with, are you able to come out with an experience, or is it an evolving experience? I mean, are you destined for the next 2 years to continue to invest in software just to make it evolve?
It's I would say it's a company by company selection. The way we approach it is that we said, there's a lot of extras and new things to do in the second screen with the first screen. So let's try to make the second screen very easy to work with, and we selected the magazine format. Okay. Magazine, people know how to flip magazines, even if they are analog kind of people for ages now. Okay, so they can, of course, jump around in a digital format, but at least they can always flip pages and use it just a regular magazine. That's our guess, to make it very simple to consume a lot of information around, because there is a lot of information. Gossip, news, social, games, all of this, and you have to pack it into one app. So it's just it's one way of doing it.
Right, and so essentially you're going back to what they're accustomed to, and leveraging that.
Right.
So what about at Orange or Mediaset? How do you keep?
Well, my point is that a few years ago, when second screen, as soon as second screen became appeared in the market, it seemed so easy to move, to switch your proposition from main screen to the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have just to put the same user interface, the same interaction, the same contents from one screen to the other one. So it's an easy translation, I mean. And we noticed that the reality is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And because the consumer habits are different, and people is expecting something different from us in second screens or in tablets or on the smartphone. So different content, just not a matter of replacing or repurposing the same contents we offer on linear channels. It's just not a matter of offer up ancillary contents, but maybe we have to think about something different. Maybe we have to gather together on single screen information regarding the contents viewers is watching on TV that broaden the viewer's experience. I mean, you can think, let's think Lost, for instance, TV series.
Mm-hmm.
If Lost were aired today, maybe it would be relevant to have on second screen additional information or clues or something like that, mm-hmm. that complete and increase the Highland experience.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that, because one of the things we've seen in the US market is you get some shows that are trying to effectively move outside of the 30-minute or 1 hour window to extend engagement with consumers really outside of that window. Therese?
And that can be before, during, and after the show. Mm-hmm. And it's important to have that, because I think we were in position to put probably 8 or 9 completely different use cases in the application, in TV Check, but we've chosen wisely not to put them. Because we were thinking, okay, if we're doing that, people will spend all their time on the second screen and not on the first one. That would be too complex. Mm-hmm. So the ideal number for use cases in an application, according to the late Steve Jobs, is 1. Mm. So
he had moderate success in mobile devices.
That's it. And now he has worms as best friends. So it's let's consider that he belongs
family friendly.
Family friendly. We wanted to analyze the fact that even 3 use cases is too much. So we've chosen to first consider that social TV has not been created in 2010. It was created in the same time than TV, because people on the phone speaking about TV were already playing the social TV game. Mm-hmm. So we can add some features. Everybody knows how to socialize in front of TV when it's about talking. So mm-hmm. it's not a problem having that. Mm-hmm. Then we've added gaming, which is a new one, but it's so fun and not completely distracting, mm-hmm. little games. And the third one, we've chosen content recommendation because we consider it's the biggest challenge so far. The ocean of content, the number of channels, the number of VODs in the catalog, the number of videos available on Dailymotion or YouTube is the main challenge and the main problem for the user when it's 8 o'clock and they have to determine what they will be seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, whenever families are furnishing their home around the television, really they're already defining that it's a social experience just being around the TV. We have just a couple of minutes left before we move on to some of the demonstrations for the afternoon. Let me open it up to the audience. Any questions to our esteemed panel about second screen or their implementation or priorities around second screen? Yes, right here. Dove.
My question is to Chris. What is the business model that stands behind TV Check?
Well, currently we're trying many different models. We've started with advertising, And we are more and more considering some other mechanisms, which may include when we'll be covering not only live TV channels, but also some VOD catalogs, etc., to be able to trigger some co-viewing on some series, on some movies, thanks to the social interaction. So we are pretty early in terms of implementing the business model because, as you know, we need a little bit of more inventory in order to be really focusing on that. But we're trying several. I'm naming 2 of them, but there are probably 5 different applicable models that can be used in these social TV experiences.
Okay. Other questions?
By the way, it's an embarrassing one, and I haven't been choosing to let my second screen puppet answer that. What do you think of that?
I think that's family friendly. I think we can go with that. So, any other questions? No?
By the way, you know, I was in the audience before. And
I've seen you.
Yeah. No, but I noticed, you know, there was this thing with Google TV. We're trying to change the way we do TV and moving us from lean backward to lean forward. And being on the audience, you know, when there is a panel, this is like when they are leaning backward. And when you ask if there are any questions, they have to change gears. They have to change their. Now you ask them to lean forward, and it's not easy. I just. You know, I sat there and I said, you know, I was entertained, and then I now have to ask questions. So it's a different mode.
Yeah.
It's really
really kind of a different type of interaction with the experience.
I think when it's about changing TV, everybody has to keep in mind this old short story with Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, which is about Friedrich Nietzsche writing, God is dead. And then the rabbi came, and they were saying, they were simply writing, the first sentence was, God is dead, Nietzsche. And then the rabbi was writing, Nietzsche is dead, God.
Yeah.
So that means it's not ancient Greek philosophers, sorry, but it's another one. Other philosophers. I would say that it's not about us changing TV. TV is changing as itself, and the user chooses what is going to change in TV.
Yeah.
And we have to be very humble with that.
Yeah, and so in a very real sense, the video industry is just catching up with consumers in what they're trying to do and then figuring out the best way to monetize that. I think one of the things Antonio mentioned that I really hadn't considered before today was the impact on advertising and ad skipping, and really, in a sense, trying to catch up on that side to recapture some of those eyeballs. Well, if you would, please give the panel a hand. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time.